There comes a time in life when you realize not everyone deserves access to your energy. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. And not everyone who claps for you is truly happy for you. 2025 is not the year to chase people. It's not the year to beg for attention, to fight for a place in someone's life who never valued you in the first place. This year is about standing tall in your worth, even if it means standing alone. Let them wonder why you stopped calling. Let them notice the silence where your laughter used to be. Let them miss the presence they once took for granted. Because silence is powerful. Absence speaks louder than words ever could. In 2025, choose yourself. Choose your growth. Choose the people who see your light and don't try to dim it. Pour your time into building dreams, not into proving your value to those who never deserved it. The truth is, when you step back, people start to see what they lost. The conversations they no longer have, the support they no longer feel, the love they no longer receive. And suddenly, your absence becomes the loudest reminder of your worth. So stop shrinking to fit into spaces too small for your spirit. Stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Stop wasting your breath where it is not valued. 2025 is the year of quiet power, the year of building, healing, and rising. The year of walking away with dignity and letting your absence do the talking. Let them miss you. Let them realize. Let them sit in the echo of everything you were. While you move forward into everything you are becoming, 2025 is not the year to chase people. It's the year to choose yourself. Too often we spend so much energy trying to hold on to people who were never meant to stay, trying to prove our value to people who never deserved us in the first place. And in the process, we forget the most important relationship of all, the one we have with ourselves. Chasing people is exhausting. It drains your spirit, it makes you question your worth, and it traps you in a cycle of seeking validation outside of you. But there comes a moment in life where you have to stop asking, stop pleading, and stop running after those who don't see the light you carry. This moment is here, and this year is the turning point. Choosing yourself is not selfish. Choosing yourself is survival. It means finally putting your time, your energy, your love, and your loyalty into places where they are respected, not wasted. It means walking away from conversations that make you feel smaller, from relationships that don't grow you, and from people who only remember you when they need something. Choosing yourself means realizing that your energy is sacred, your time is priceless, and your presence is a privilege. The right people will recognize this, the wrong people will resent it, and none of that should stop you from honoring who you are. In 2025, you don't need to chase what already belongs to you. Real love will not require you to beg. True respect will not force you to compromise your dignity. Genuine friendships will not disappear the moment you stop giving. When you choose yourself, you set a standard, and those who cannot meet it will naturally fall away. That isn't rejection, that's protection. That is life clearing space for people and opportunities that align with the person you are becoming. This year is about stepping into that alignment. It's about focusing on your growth, your dreams, your healing, your voice. It's about building the life you've always imagined without waiting for someone else to give you permission. It's about finally realizing that you don't have to prove yourself worthy of love, respect, or success because you already are. You are enough as you are. Without the constant chase for someone else's approval, the chase has always been about fear. Fear of being alone, fear of being forgotten, fear of being unloved. But fear is a liar. Fear convinces you that if you let go, you'll be empty, when in truth, letting go is what finally fills you. It fills you with peace, it fills you with clarity, it fills you with the strength to stand tall in your own identity. This year, instead of letting fear dictate your steps, let faith lead the way. Faith that the right people will stay, faith that the wrong ones will fall off, and faith that you will thrive without the things you once thought you couldn't live without. Choosing yourself also means protecting your energy. Not every battle is yours to fight. Not every argument is worth your time. Not every person deserves access to your heart. In 2025, choose silence over chaos, choose boundaries over exhaustion, choose clarity over confusion. Because the more you protect yourself, the more space you create for joy, creativity, and purpose. You cannot chase people and chase your destiny at the same time. You cannot keep running after what is leaving and still expect to arrive where you are meant to go. The irony is that when you stop chasing people, that's when they start noticing your absence. The calls that once went unanswered suddenly become urgent. The messages you once sent are now missed. The love you poured out freely is now remembered. But by then, you will have learned something powerful. You never needed them to complete you. You are already whole. Their presence was never the source of your strength. Their absence only revealed it. So this year, walk boldly. Let your silence speak louder than your words. Let your absence teach lessons your presence never could. Stand tall in your worth, knowing that the people who truly belong in your life will never require you to beg, and those who don't belong will fade away no matter how hard you chase. Stop running after closed doors. Stop trying to resurrect what is already dead, and stop trading your peace for temporary attention. 2025 is not about who you lose. It's about what you gain when you choose yourself. It's about gaining clarity, confidence, peace, and purpose. It's about finding strength in solitude and power in your own presence. It's about walking into rooms with the quiet knowing that you don't need to be chosen because you already chose yourself. When you live this way, you stop attracting people who drain you and start attracting people who align with you. You stop settling for less and start demanding more. You stop chasing and you start receiving. Choosing yourself is the ultimate revolution. It is the moment you stop handing over the pen and start writing your own story. It is the moment you stop waiting for someone to clap for you and start celebrating yourself. It is the moment you finally understand that your life, your happiness, and your future belong to you and no one else. And when you live this way, you don't just survive, you thrive. You don't just exist, you inspire. You don't just walk into 2025, you own it. Silence and absence are more powerful than words. There is something unshakable about the quiet that follows. When you no longer fight to explain yourself, when you no longer exhaust your energy trying to be understood, and when you no longer waste your breath on people who never really listened in the first place. Silence carries a weight that words often cannot. It creates space for reflection, for realization, for people to see what they ignored when you were speaking. In a world full of noise, silence demands attention and absence becomes the loudest reminder of value. When you choose silence, you are not surrendering, you are reclaiming your power. Words can be twisted, misinterpreted, or dismissed, but silence cannot be denied. It forces the other person to sit with the echo of their actions, to confront the void left behind. Silence is not weakness. It is strength in its purest form. It is the declaration that you no longer owe explanations to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. It is the decision to conserve your energy for things that truly matter rather than scattering it in battles that only drain you. Absence, too, carries its own undeniable message. When your presence is no longer there to be taken for granted, when your energy is no longer poured into ungrateful hands, people start to feel the emptiness you leave behind. They begin to notice the silence where your laughter once filled the room, the gap in conversations where your wisdom once guided, the coldness where your warmth once comforted. Absence reveals truth. It reveals who valued you only for what you gave and who cherished you for who you are. There is profound clarity that comes when you step back. You see who reaches out when you go quiet. You see who notices when you are no longer there. You see who checks in not because they need something, but because they care. Absence strips away pretense, exposing the real connections from the false ones. It teaches you that the ones who truly value you will never let you fade into silence without trying to hold on. Silence and absence also create space for healing. When you stop speaking to defend yourself, you start listening to your own voice. When you remove yourself from environments where you are undervalued, you begin to recognize your own worth. The quiet becomes a sanctuary, a place where you can rebuild without interference, where you can reflect without distraction, where you can grow without resistance. It is in the stillness that you reconnect with your strength, your dreams, and your truth. Many people are afraid of silence because they associate it with emptiness. But silence is not empty. It is full of answers, full of clarity, full of strength. It reveals what noise often hides. In silence, you learn who you are without the opinions of others. In absence, you learn who others are without your presence holding them together. That knowledge is liberating because it frees you from chasing explanations, from seeking closure, from needing validation. Sometimes the best response is no response. Not because you don't have something to say, but because the energy required to say it is not worth the cost. Silence cuts deeper than arguments because it leaves room for reflection. It gives space for the other person to face themselves. And in that confrontation, they often realize the impact of what they have lost. Words might defend your point for a moment, but silence lingers long after the conversation ends. Absence, too, teaches lessons that presence never could. When you are always available, always giving, always showing up, people start to forget the value of what you bring. But when you step back, When you remove your energy, your support, your love, people are forced to notice what is missing. They remember the comfort of your presence, the consistency of your care, the strength of your support. Absence is the mirror that reflects the truth. It shows them not only who you are to them, but also who they are without you. Choosing silence and absence is not about punishment. It is about protection. It is about protecting your peace, your energy, and your self-worth. It is about recognizing that not every battle is worth fighting, not every person is worth convincing, and not every relationship is worth saving. Silence is your boundary, absence is your healing, and together they create the space you need to grow into the fullest version of yourself. When you stop explaining yourself, you stop handing people the power to define you. When you step back from those who take you for granted, you stop allowing them to consume your energy without giving anything in return. Silence teaches you self-control, absence teaches you self-respect. And together, they remind you that you don't need to fight for a place in someone's life when you are already whole on your own. The strength of silence and absence lies in their permanence. Words can fade, memories can blur, but the impact of someone's absence remains sharp. The echo of what is no longer there lingers in ways that words cannot replicate. Silence and absence are not about withdrawal. They are about empowerment. They are not about loss. They are about gain, the gain of clarity, peace, dignity, and strength. In moments of silence, you rise above noise. In moments of absence, you teach the value of presence. And when you learn to master both, you realize that the most powerful statements are often made without a single word.